There are souls among us. Women who carry an ancient intelligence, a wisdom unmeasured by the world's common scales. It flows like a hidden river, beneath the surface of conscious life. You sense her presence, though words may fail to grasp why a shift occurs within your chest, why her quiet speaks volumes beyond mere sound. This unseen knowing has long captivated those who delve into the psyche's depths. I have observed within certain women a superior resonance, a feeling capacity that transcends simple emotion. They do not merely feel deeply, they perceive through veils that remain unseen by most, accessing dimensions beyond the ordinary. They read the subtle hum of a soul, decode the silent whispers of the unconscious, and navigate reality through pathways not yet charted by conventional thought. We will now journey through 6 aspects that distinguish these women of profound spiritual insight from those who only mirror spirituality or mistake reactive emotion for true knowing. These qualities often dwell in the gentle shadows of consciousness, misunderstood by a world eager to quantify every mystery. Yet, for those who bear them, these traits are both a sacred gift and a profound burden, a call to walk between worlds. Rooted deeply in this one. 1. Energetic literacy, the whisper of the unseen. The first ripple of this unseen wisdom reveals itself in their uncanny ability to read the very atmosphere of a space, to sense its unseen breath. When she enters a room, a subtle, often indescribable shift occurs, not from her actions or spoken words, but from the deep, quiet frequency she emanates. This is not mere emotion, but a superior feeling function, finely tuned like an ancient instrument. It detects the subtle vibrations of authenticity, deception, pain, or joy that radiate from every human soul, every silent exchange. These women often function as living barometers, registering the unvoiced tensions between a couple across a dinner table, feeling the quiet, repressed grief of a seemingly cheerful neighbor, or discerning the hidden agenda beneath a carefully constructed facade. This perception transcends paranoia. It is pattern recognition operating at frequencies most minds cannot yet access. A profound attunement to the subtle language of the soul. Their nervous systems have often been calibrated over lifetimes, perhaps through periods of hypervigilance, ancestral memory of trauma, or a simple, inherited gift to pick up signals others miss entirely. Indeed, the ancestral component cannot be ignored here. These women often carry the energetic legacy of grandmothers and great-grandmothers who, out of necessity, developed this inner radar. Women who had to read the emotional climate of their households to ensure survival, who learned to detect danger in a husband's approaching footsteps or opportunity in a stranger's quick glance. This inherited wisdom flows through bloodlines like a river of knowing, surfacing in daughters who now find themselves inexplicably overwhelmed in crowded spaces, exhausted after social gatherings, or strangely, deeply certain about people they've just met. Yet, this gift often comes wrapped in its own gentle thorns. To see clearly is to glimpse what others prefer to keep hidden, both within themselves and in the world. To feel authentic is to recognize performance and pretense woven into the fabric of everyday interaction. Such women often find themselves in a quiet solitude, not by choice, but by the sheer intensity of their perceptual accuracy. They become living mirrors, reflecting back truths people are not yet ready to embrace. Oracles speaking a language that can sound like judgment to those still slumbering in their cherished illusions. Have you ever walked into a space and immediately known, without a single word, that something was profoundly amiss, even as everyone seemed perfectly at ease, or felt an instant, inexplicable aversion to someone, only to find later that your initial, unexplainable reaction was a silent, justified guide? This is the first ripple of energetic literacy, a skill that transforms these women into unwitting, gentle guardians of emotional truth. Their presence calls others to a deeper authenticity, even if unconsciously. 2. Open channel to the collective unconscious, the whispers of the world soul. The second trait blossoms through their intimate dance with what I termed the collective unconscious, that vast, subterranean reservoir of archetypal patterns and universal symbols shaping human experience across all time and cultures. While most souls catch fleeting glimpses of this deeper reality in the haze of a dream or a moment of sudden inspiration, these spiritually resonant women maintain open, permeable channels to this boundless wellspring of wisdom. They dream in profound symbols that often later unfold in waking life, experience synchronicities with a frequency that seems to defy all odds, and receive guidance through intuitive flashes that prove remarkably, often uncannily, accurate. I observed that certain beings possess a more permeable ego boundary, allowing them to draw from this collective ocean of wisdom without dissolving their unique sense of self. These women embody this rare capacity, acting as sensitive translators between the symbolic realm and the grounded reality we inhabit. They render the abstract language of the unconscious into actionable insights, into a knowing that can guide the living path. A dream about water becomes a profound message about emotional healing. A chance encounter with a specific animal whispers of personal power awaiting reclamation. A recurring number pattern becomes a silent confirmation of being truly aligned on one's destined path. This connection to the collective unconscious vastly amplifies their experience of meaningful coincidences, where others might dismiss such occurrences as mere random chance. These women recognize them as sacred communications, whispers from a deeper intelligence that orchestrates reality from behind the veils. They learn to surrender to these synchronistic guideposts, allowing them to navigate life with a sense of flow and timing that may appear magical to observers, but feels utterly natural, like breathing. To them, they understand that the universe speaks in ancient whispers and sacred symbols, and they have developed the inner ears to truly listen. This phenomenon stretches beyond personal guidance, often flowering into collective service. These women frequently find themselves, not through conscious planning, but by following invisible currents of meaning, in the exact right place at the perfect time, offering precisely what someone needs. They become living bridges between the material and spiritual dimensions, translating universal wisdom into human understanding simply through their presence, their gentle words, and the very essence of their being. Their lives often unfold like mythic tales, woven with encounters that feel scripted by a benevolent cosmic intelligence. The world itself seems to lean in, to conspire with their journey. 3. Cultivation of sacred solitude, the inner sanctuary. This journey into deeper knowing leads naturally to their third characteristic, one that often mystifies those around them. These spiritually attuned women instinctively cultivate what I call sacred solitude, choosing periods of withdrawal not from a dislike of humanity, but from a profound inner wisdom. They understand a truth that our often extroverted world struggles to accept, that the most profound transformations, the deepest insights, happen in silence, Far from the echoes of external opinions and the demands of other energies. Their solitude is not loneliness. It is a vital laboratory for the soul's deepest work. My concept of individuation, the process of becoming one's whole, authentic self, absolutely demands periods of quiet withdrawal from the collective influences, creating the sacred space for one's authentic inner voice to emerge above the clamor of social expectations. These women instinctively honor this sacred rhythm. They distinguish keenly between the solitude that heals and the isolation that wounds, consciously choosing the former as a nourishing practice rather than accepting the latter as a punishment. When they gracefully withdraw, they are not retreating from life. They are diving deeper into its very essence, into the rich soil of their own being. The sacred nature of their solitude becomes beautifully apparent in how they consecrate this time. Rather than seeking distraction or numbing the self, they engage in practices that deepen their connection to inner wisdom. They journal, they meditate, they create, or simply sit in profound silence, allowing the sediment of daily experience to gently settle so that a crystalline clarity can arise. These periods of quiet withdrawal transform into times of intense creativity and direct spiritual communication, where insights download like gentle rain, and perspectives shift in ways that reweave their entire understanding of existence. Yet, this natural rhythm of ebb and flow, of withdrawal and engagement, often causes confusion for family members and friends. They may mistakenly interpret this deep need for space as rejection or a quiet sadness. Such women must learn to honor their energetic cycles without the burden of guilt, understanding that their profound depth demands regular returns to the inner well of their being. They discover that attempting to maintain constant social connections depletes their spiritual resources, diminishing their ability to serve others with true authenticity. Their solitude, therefore, becomes a crucial act of self-preservation, one that ultimately radiates outward, gently benefiting everyone in their orbit, like ripples from a calm pond. 4. Alchemizing suffering into wisdom, the sacred crucible. The fourth trait reveals perhaps the most profound aspect of their spiritual intelligence, their awe-inspiring capacity to transform personal suffering into universal wisdom. Through what I call the transcendent function, these women do not merely endure pain, they courageously alchemize it. They descend, often voluntarily, into their own profound underworld, bravely facing the shadows and inner demons that others spend entire lifetimes avoiding. From these depths, they emerge carrying treasures, insights that can only be forged in the intense fires of personal hell. This arduous yet sacred process mirrors the ancient archetype of the wounded healer, the one who gains the profound power to bring healing to others precisely through their intimate, lived knowledge of suffering. I recognize this recurring pattern in many souls, particularly women who had endured significant trauma or profound loss. Rather than remaining bound as victims of their circumstances, they transformed their deepest wounds into potent sources of compassion, profound empathy, and luminous insight. These become offerings that can profoundly serve the collective healing process. Their pain becomes their sacred qualification, their suffering, their quiet certification as guides for others navigating similar, arduous paths. The transcendent function operates by holding seemingly opposite forces in sacred tension until a miraculous third possibility emerges, a synthesis beyond the initial conflict. These women learn to embrace both their incandescent light and their gentle shadow, their boundless joy and their quiet grief, their undeniable strength and their vulnerable fragility. Instead of choosing sides in the inner war between these opposing forces, they become the sacred marriage of these opposites, giving birth to a new, higher level of consciousness that beautifully transcends the original inner conflict. Their integrated wholeness, like a beacon, then radiates a guiding light for others, still grappling with their own inner fragmentation. This alchemical process demands tremendous courage and an unwavering commitment to truth, even over comfort. These women must be willing to feel everything fully, to resist the seductive temptation, to spiritually bypass their pain through premature forgiveness or shallow positive thinking. They learn, with deep reverence, that true healing is not the absence of wounds, but the profound transformation of wounds into an enduring wisdom. Their scars become sacred sites, quiet pilgrimage destinations for their own souls, and eventually, for others seeking similar, transformative journeys. The immense responsibility that accompanies this wisdom cannot be overstated. Once one has transformed the lead of suffering into the gold of insight, once one has walked through the refining fires and emerged not destroyed but purified, one becomes profoundly accountable to the larger collective healing process. These women often find themselves irresistibly drawn to serve as wise counselors, inspired teachers, soulful artists, or profound healers, offering their transmuted pain as potent medicine for a world deeply wounded. 5. Mastery of therapeutic presence, the healing silence. Their fifth characteristic unfolds as a profound mastery of nonverbal communication, which I termed therapeutic presence. These women have learned to communicate through the very quality of their being, beyond the mere quantity of their words. They understand that silence can be more eloquent than speech, that a deep presence heals more than advice, and that sometimes the greatest service is simply witnessing another's experience without trying to fix, change, or improve it. This sacred communication through presence operates on energetic frequencies, bypassing the rational mind, speaking directly to the soul. When they encounter suffering, their very being becomes a gentle reminder it is possible to survive the unsurvivable, to find meaning in apparent meaninglessness, to discover light within darkness. They need not share stories or offer platitudes. Their existence itself becomes proof that profound transformation is possible. Their relationship with language mirrors this depth. When they speak, their words carry weight and precision. They have learned speech is a sacred act, that words hold power to create and destroy, to heal and wound. They choose expressions with exquisite care, preferring quality over quantity, depth over breadth. Their silence is not emptiness, but a profound fullness, pregnant with understanding and compassion. This economy extends to their entire energetic output. They conserve spiritual resources, understanding that sensitivity demands careful management of where and how attention is invested. They are generous with presence because they've mastered energetic boundaries, knowing when to open, when to close, when to give, and when to preserve. People often feel better simply from being in their company, even in brief encounters. This is not a coincidence, but the natural result of their energetic sophistication. They become tuning forks for higher frequencies, helping others remember their innate capacity for peace, clarity, and wholeness through unconscious resonance rather than conscious effort. 6. Natural magnetism for sacred encounters, the universe's embrace. The sixth and final trait appears as their natural magnetism for sacred encounters and meaningful coincidences. These women do not actively seek spiritual experiences. They attract them. Their consciousness, like a gentle beacon, draws to themselves the precise people, situations, and opportunities that serve their soul's evolution and the collective awakening, what others desperately search for. They receive as natural, organic gifts. I termed this synchronicity attraction, observing that certain individuals seem to live where meaningful coincidences cluster around them, like iron filings around a magnet. These women embody this, not through manipulation or materialism, but through authentic alignment with their deepest truth. Their lives become living textbooks of synchronicity, filled with encounters orchestrated by invisible intelligence. This magnetism operates through what I call autonomous complexes, deep psychological patterns. In most cases, these complexes create issues, but in spiritually intelligent women, these mechanisms become refined instruments, drawing forth experiences that serve their highest good. Their psyches transform into finely tuned antennas, attuned to frequencies of meaning and purpose. The responsibility of this gift demands significant discernment. Not everything meaningful should be welcomed. Not every synchronicity should be followed. Not every attractive opportunity serves authentic growth. These women cultivate sophisticated inner filters, learning to distinguish genuine guidance from ego inflation, divine timing from wishful thinking, sacred encounters from spiritual inflation. Their presence often catalyzes transformation in groups. Even when seeking invisibility, they become unwitting initiators. Their existence challenges others to question assumptions, examine motivations, and consider possibilities beyond convention. This catalytic function happens automatically, through energetic transmission, not conscious intention. The return to simplicity, the quiet echo. As these women mature into their gifts, a profound paradox unfolds. The more spiritually intelligent, the more exquisitely ordinary they seem. The extraordinary becomes so natural that it loses all dramatic quality. They cease feeling special for these traits, understanding them purely as tools for selfless service, not sources of identity. They learn to wear wisdom lightly, carrying insights without the weight of ego. This evolution leads to what I call the return to simplicity, yet at a higher, more integrated level. Having traversed complex spiritual territories, bravely faced shadows and lovingly integrated light, navigating both material and mystical dimensions, they arrive at a place of profound, grounded ordinariness. Their true power operates through subtle influence, not display, through being, not doing, through quiet presence, not overt performance. The world may never recognize their contribution, and increasingly, they find they do not need it to. Their validation blossoms from within, from the quiet knowing they fulfill their purpose simply by being authentically themselves. They understand their greatest service might remain invisible, their influence unmeasurable, their legacy softly written in hearts and souls touched without ever knowing the full impact. This journey toward invisible influence represents the ultimate expression of spiritual intelligence. It is the deep recognition that true power radiates through love, not force, through quiet inspiration, not manipulation, through living example, not instruction. These women become living prayers, walking meditations, embodied reminders that it is profoundly possible to live with unwavering depth, radical authenticity, and luminous grace in a world that often prizes superficiality, performance, and aggression. The solitude that once felt like exile now becomes their sacred sanctuary. The profound sensitivity that once felt like a curse transforms into their most potent superpower. The invisible wisdom that once made them feel alien becomes their greatest gift to a humanity hungering for authentic spiritual guidance. They learn to trust the quiet intelligence flowing through them, to honor the sacred gifts that gently set them apart, and to lovingly embrace the mysterious calling that might always remain partially veiled, even to themselves. If you recognize within yourself this ancient lineage, if you feel yourself to be a bridge between worlds, then know this: your sensitivity is not a burden, but a luminous strength. Your profound need for solitude is not misanthropy, but a vital act of self-preservation. Your unique ability to transform pain into deep wisdom is invaluable. Your invisible intelligence is not imaginary, but absolutely real and desperately needed. The path of the spiritually intelligent woman is rarely easy, but always profoundly meaningful. It demands courage to trust what others cannot see, unwavering faith to follow guidance, defying logic, and immense strength to remain authentic in a world that rewards conformity. Yet, for those called to this path, there is no true alternative. The intelligence flowing through them is not optional, but essential, not chosen, but divinely given, not earned, but profoundly inherited. Your journey continues. With each breath, each choice, each moment of profound presence you offer to a world in desperate need of the medicine you carry within. Trust the profound wisdom that flows through you. Honor the gentle sensitivity that sets you apart. Embrace the sacred solitude that restores your soul. Transform the pain that so profoundly teaches you. Communicate through the deep silence that truly speaks. Attract the sacred encounters that serve your highest path. If these words resonate with your soul's deepest knowing, if they have touched something profound within your being, take a moment. Reflect on your own sacred journey of spiritual intelligence. Your story matters. Your experience validates others. Your willingness to truly be seen encourages women everywhere to embrace their own magnificent and visible gifts. The conversation continues. The journey deepens, and the healing spreads, quietly, powerfully, through every woman brave enough to claim her rightful place in this ancient lineage of spiritual knowing.